Hello and welcome to the weekly salmon fishing update for May 26th. On this week's update, I'll provide information relative to the seasons and rules. I'll cover some hatchery return information at Rapid River. We'll talk about the Creel survey data from the last week's fisheries, and I'll also touch on some of the dam count information at Bonneville and Lower Granite. You're going to want to pay attention to this week's update. We do have a closure coming on the Lower Salmon River fishery. I encourage you to check out Joe DuPont's blog that he posted yesterday. It goes into more in-depth detail about some of the topics I'll be talking about today. That's it for this week's introduction. Let's get to the report.
This weekly salmon fishing update contains information for the Lower Salmon River, the Little Salmon River, and the Snake River Chinook fisheries. Any areas not mentioned in this weekly salmon fishing update are closed to fishing for Chinook salmon. The Lower Salmon River will be closing to fishing for Chinook salmon at the end of fishing hours this coming Friday, which means fishing will be open Thursday, May 27th and Friday, May 28th, and then will close. Fishing hours are from 6 a.m. Mountain Time or 5 a.m. Pacific Time to 10 p.m. Mountain Time or 9 p.m. Pacific Time. The daily bag limit is 4 salmon, only one of which may be an adult, and the possession limit is 12 salmon, only 3 of which may be adults. The Lower Salmon River is open from the Rice Creek Bridge upstream to Vinegar Creek. The Little Salmon River is open to Chinook fishing 4 days per week, Thursday through Sunday. Fishing hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Time, and the daily bag limit is 4 salmon, only one of which may be an adult. The possession limit is 12 salmon, only 3 of which may be adults. The Little Salmon River is open from the mouth upstream to Smoky Boulder Road. The Snake River is open to fishing for Chinook salmon 7 days per week. Fishing hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Time, and the daily bag limit is 4 salmon, only one of which may be an adult. The possession limit is 12 salmon, only 3 of which may be adults. The Snake River is open from the Doug Bar boat ramp upstream to Hells Canyon Dam. Now that we've covered the seasons and rules for the Chinook fisheries in Idaho, I wanted to cover some recent dam count information at Bonneville and Lower Granite. You can see at the table at the top, this is a screenshot from the IDFG website, that at Bonneville Dam, counts have dropped off and we're currently kind of in the trough between the spring Chinook run and the summer Chinook run. However, we do have numerous fish from McCall and Sawtooth Hatchery coming over Bonneville Dam at this current time. We expect counts to remain low there for the next couple of weeks before they pick up when the upper Columbia River summers start crossing Bonneville. But you can see that the total to date in 2021 for this date is 6,240 fish, which is well ahead of where we were at this time last year, but less than the 5-year average of 73,000. At Lower Granite Dam, we're kind of still in the meat of the run there. We had some big days last week, almost 1,800 fish on a couple of days, and you can see that right now we're almost double what we had on this date in 2020. Part of that is due to the earlier run timing that we're seeing in 2021 compared to the later run timing that we saw in 2020, and we're also about 5,000 fish above the 5-year average. Looking at hatchery returns at Rapid River Hatchery, catch numbers have certainly picked up. We're ahead of where we were at this time last year for trapping, and I expect these numbers to pick up more in the next week here. What this means is that fishing on the Little Salmon River should pick up in the near future as fish start to move into that system. Looking at the Creel survey data from last week, you can see in the Lower Salmon River the highest catch rates and the largest amount of harvest occurred in the Lower Salmon River from Time Zone Bridge up to the mouth of Shorts Creek. This is the area right around the town of Riggins. However, fish were caught all the way down into the lower section and in the middle section near Hammer Creek. The total weekly harvest last week was 253 adults and 5 jacks, which brings our season total to 407 adults in the Lower Salmon River and 14 jacks. Our current harvest share for the Rapid River run is between 900 and 1,000 fish, and we try to split the harvest evenly between the Lower Salmon River and the Little Salmon River. So with that 407 that's shown for the season total, we're almost halfway to what we expect our harvest share to be for the Rapid River run, and that's why the Lower Salmon River is closing after fishing hours on Friday to try to spread that harvest equitably between those two fisheries. Looking at the Little Salmon River, as I mentioned, things have been pretty slow thus far, but with trapping numbers at Rapid River Hatchery picking up, I do expect this fishery to pick up considerably during this coming weekend's fishery. Currently, we're sitting at 17 total adults kept, and 3 jacks, and I expect a dramatic increase in those numbers this weekend. Lastly, for the Snake River, we did document a bit more harvest there last weekend, or during the last week, I'm sorry. We estimated 46 adults were kept, and that brings the season total there to 50 adults. This fishery will continue for the next week at least with the current regulations, and don't expect any major changes there for another couple of weeks. That's it for this week's report. I'll leave you with this photo. This was from my trip to the Riggins area last weekend. Nice to get back out on the river again, and if you're one of the lucky ones heading out during this next week, I wish you the best of luck. We'll see you next week.